Hi guys. This is my first video for Sade Speaks. Thank you to everybody for watching and tuning in. I know my background is a little unorthodox, but just run with me with it for a little while. Again, this is my first video on my YouTube channel. Um, I'll be discussing relationships, love, life, relationships with narcissists, and if you're an empath, what a narcissist is and what an empath is, and how, if you are an empath, how you can defend yourself and have certain tools to protect yourself against narcissists and psychopaths and sociopaths. But those are different videos for another day. So today we're going to concentrate on traumas and healing. That's the topic of today's videos, traumas and healing. I'm going to start the video off with talking about childhood traumas to begin with. A lot of us have suffered childhood traumas that we never healed from. I myself personally am definitely a victim of childhood trauma. I grew up with a mother who was diagnosed with bipolar and manic depression. So a little bit of my background looks like a lot of childhood abuse, growing up feeling not seen, not understood, not loved by my mother, not being able to really express myself and express my feelings in a healthy manner. Kind of grew up in that household where you're told what goes on in this house stays in this house. Keep your feelings and your emotions to yourself. I know a lot of you probably can relate to that, especially in the Black community. We really grow up not really being able to express ourselves or being taught healthy ways to express our emotions. So therefore, you grow up holding on to all these feelings of abandonment, lack of self-worth, self-doubt, never getting that real feeling of love that you needed in those pivotal stages in life to really fully develop your brain and fully develop your emotions. So you carry those things throughout your teenage years and your adult life, and you grow to be an adult with trauma. A lot of us suffer from PTSD and we don't even realize it, where it came from, because we're not taking those experiences that we went through as children as traumatic experiences, because we're thinking that traumas only happen to adults. You really can only understand feelings of trauma or situations of trauma as an adult, but no. You very well can experience dramatic traumas as a child that very well can and will affect you, if you don't self analyze and if you don't take the steps to heal as an adult. So, that me, again, I grew up with a bipolar and manic depressive mother. So, me, I have three little brothers. We were very well abused. My mother beat us, she beat me. I was constantly talked down to, disrespected, called out of my name, just various forms of abuse. From this coming from your mother. So just imagine growing up in a household with a person who's supposed to love you, nurture you, care for you, your first feelings of love and want, your first groomings of emotions and how to express yourself. This is the person that's supposed to teach you those things, that's supposed to love you and make you feel safe. So imagine just growing up, from as far back as you can remember. So I'll say maybe from like 6 or 7 on up till I was 14, because that's when I left my mother's house. Just feeling neglected, feeling abandoned, feeling not loved, feeling not wanted, not accepted, not being able to really express yourself and really tap into your emotions, just because this person suffers from trauma themselves that they never healed from, and so they're bleeding all of their traumas on to you. And so more often than we think, this happens. This definitely happens, and we don't talk about it because we're ashamed. We're ashamed to express ourselves. We don't want to be judged. And that was me for a long time. I didn't want to tell my story. I didn't want to talk about the traumas I suffered as a child, the traumas I suffered as an adult. I didn't want to speak. I didn't want to let it be heard what I went through because I was so ashamed and embarrassed. I didn't want people to judge me. I wanted to depict that image of what society calls normal. But at this point in life, I just feel like my calling is to help somebody out there. It's somebody like me who has went through similar things that I went through. It's somebody who might feel lost, who may suffered from childhood traumas with a mother or a father or a close relative or a family friend, and you don't want to speak about it, and it's really breaking you down. It's wearing you down, to the point where maybe you're suicidal, maybe you're addicted to some kind of drugs, maybe it's alcohol, maybe you're a sex addict, maybe you're addicted to porn, maybe you're addicted to shopping. Whatever the addiction is, you're finding a way to escape. You're filling that void, that internal void that you never could feel throughout your whole life or growing up. I'm speaking to help that person or those people. I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking for healing, and I'm speaking to spirituality and loving yourself and knowing yourself and growing into yourself and not needing validation from other people and just validating yourself and knowing that you are enough and you are worth it all, and you're worth real love and you're worth pure love, and identifying what that love is, and when it's pure and when it's genuine, and when somebody's loving you because of the benefit of you, and not really for you. So just wrapping up that little spell on childhood traumas. We all, not all of us, but a lot of us have suffered some form of childhood trauma. And I just want to tell you that, first of all, it's not your fault. Know that, let yourself know that every day if you have to. It's not your fault. You can heal. You are enough. You are seen. You are great. You are the light. Let your light shine. And definitely heal from that. Don't hold that in. Don't sweep it under the rug. If you have to confront that person or those people in order to heal and close that chapter, by all means do so. Whatever you have to do to heal from those traumas, please start taking those steps to self-analyze, to work on yourself, and to mend those wounds that you suffer from for so long. Because my next subject is when you grow excuse me, when you grow up and you don't heal from those childhood traumas and the effects. So when you grow up and you don't heal from those childhood traumas, you tend to have effects from that. I mean, cause and reaction, this and that. So if you went through something as a child and it negatively affected you, it caused you to have negative outlooks upon life or other people or even yourself. It caused you to have feelings of self-doubt, feelings of self-worth, low self-esteem. Maybe you're codependent, and that's a video for another day. I will explain what that is for those of y'all who don't know. Those are things that can be very traumatic. They can definitely end up very negative for you if you don't take the steps to heal. A lot of people grow up in traumas. They have different addictions. Some may have an addiction to drugs, some marijuana, cocaine, heroin. Some are pills. Some people become alcoholics. They drink. Some people have an addiction to sex. Their outlet is sex, maybe porn. Some people's addiction is pain. They inflict pain on other people because they're in pain. They have traumas that they didn't heal from, and those people are considered narcissists. And that's also a topic for another time. There's different various outlets that people use and take to fill those voids that we carry with us from things that happened to us that we never could really sit down and reflect upon, to really figure out, how do I address this? How do I heal from this? I feel a pain from this. I feel affected from this, but I don't know in myself how to take the steps to move forward, to be a healthier person and not to feel these negative feelings that I feel that are causing these negative effects onto my life, because My beautiful people, my kings and my queens, what you breathe into the universe is very well what you receive back. So if you're sending those negative vibes and you're sending that negative energy off into the universe, then that's what you'll receive back. You want to feel the vibrations of love and peace and positivity at all times throughout your journey in this thing that we call life. You want to breathe all love and positivity into the universe so the universe will breathe all love and positivity back into you. Um, but so much that's easier said than done because we face several things with day to day that cause us to step outside of our character, be entangled with these people that are not good for us, that don't mean us any well, that see that you're an empathetic person, see that you have a kind, genuine heart, and only want to get to know you and be around you so they can pull those heartstrings and use you for their best benefit. And it's so sad to say that there are so many people in the world out there like that. And you make yourself susceptible as a victim to those people when you don't heal from those childhood traumas and you carry them in to your adulthood life, and you either become one of two people. You become a narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic person to where you breathe evil, and everywhere you go you're a tyrant. You sweep up destruction in your path, and you cause hurt and you cause harm to people around you and those people that try to love you and try to show you love, and possibly may try to heal you. Or you become a person who's very empathetic, very codependent, always giving love because you're always wanting love, and you're giving love with the feeling that you'll receive love back in the same entity that you gave it. And so often, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen that way. You're very codependent, as in you lack your own sense of self. You seek validation in other people. You need someone there, always around you. You can't be alone. You hate the feeling of being alone. You just want to feel that someone loves you, someone sees you, someone is there. So whatever side of the spectrum that you're on, you can take the time outside of this video to sit and think. Am I a narcissist? Have I been hurt in my childhood by my parents or maybe somebody close to me, and I didn't take that time to heal, and so I'm just causing destruction in the lives of people around me that love me? Or am I that person who the things I went through hurt me and left such a scar on me that I continue to search for love and look for love, and I want to give love to people, and I have such a big heart. I just want to give to everybody, and you want to see everybody in this perfect light, and you hate to be alone, so you always want company from other people and the validation of other people. Either way, both are codependents, and both are very toxic. One is a user and one is to be used, to put it plain and simple. So neither is healthy in your journey for life, and you should run away from both of the two of the latter. And how to run away from those, I definitely will get to towards the end of the video. So just to backtrack, I just talked about the effects from the traumas that we go through as children in our childhood that we don't heal from, and how they negatively affect us as adults. So moving forward, how to know if you're an empath or a narcissist. If you guys see me keep looking down, I wrote notes for this video. Since it's my first video, I don't just want to be talking out of turn. All of the stuff I'm speaking on, first and foremost, is something I've went through personally. After going through it, I've researched it. I've bought books. I've read books. I've watched other life coaches' videos. I'm not saying that I'm a life coach, but and watched other people who have been through it. I've talked to other people who have went through it. So I'm definitely not speaking from a place of I don't know what I'm talking about, or this is not something that I've lived and am growing out of and growing from, and finding my spirituality and finding myself and loving myself and knowing that I'm enough, and knowing that I am the light, and my light needs to shine for other people to step into their light. This is something that I'm passionate about speaking about, because I so want to help people step into their purpose and love themselves and be healthy and know what healthy love is, and know that even if you have to be alone, it's okay, because the most important love starts from within self. So I just wanted to say that I'm not speaking out of turn. This is all from experience, and even when speaking to y'all, hoping that I help somebody, I'm still speaking to myself, because know that healing from trauma and loving yourself is a continued everyday journey. Um, every day you have to take the steps to make yourself better. It's an everyday struggle, but you're not alone. There's a community of people out here rooting for you, cheering for you, and healing with you from similar traumas, maybe different traumas, but we're all rooting for you to heal and for your greater purpose. So moving on, how to know if you're an empath or a narcissist. Okay, so I definitely identify with an empathetic person. I have a very big heart. Very genuine, love to give love, want to be loved. Um, Definitely codependent, or was codependent, learning that about myself, because I grew up in the home with a mother who didn't afford me the love that I needed at the time growing up as a child. So as an adult, I tend to search for love in other outlets, basically in relationships with men or even in friendships. Um, I have never really honestly been single. I've always been in a relationship with someone. I guess because I always want the feeling of someone being there. If I wasn't in a relationship, I definitely had somebody who was in my life who I was dealing with, to be there when I wanted them there, and not to be around when I didn't want them to be around. Because even though as I reflect with codependency, I also definitely self-reflect with being a introvert. And I definitely like my alone time to myself. So I kind of think that I was a person who tried to fill my voids with other people when I wanted them there, um, to love me, and in turn to give them love. But when I needed that time to myself, I'm the type to shut down. So being empathetic, you're the emotional type. You're the type to insert yourself in another person's shoes. You can basically sit in a place for another person, meaning if you have a really close friend and your really close friend's mother just died or father just died, you can literally take on those feelings for them. You can feel their pain. And you can absorb that for them. You can feel their energy. It's very strong. Empathetic people can feel other people's energies. Um, and you tend to have a big heart. You tend to want to look at people for all the good that they have in them, and not the bad. You're not naive to the fact that there are bad people in the world, but you rather see the good in all than the bad in all. You're positive over negative all the time. You want to help people. You want to see everybody make it. You hate to see people fighting or people at odds with other people. You hate to see any kind of negativity. You're the type of person to watch a movie, and if something is sad, you cry. That's basically the gist of an empathetic person. Just a very kind-hearted, um, just easy-willed, positive, sensitive, kind of filling the space for another person, personality. And if you're a narcissistic person, you're the type of person who, sorry for the blank out. I was getting what I needed to say. So you're the type of person who rage and destruction, torment and evil are your tools and tricks. Narcissistic people are people who, they're very codependent as well. They need someone there as well because they need a supply to feed into their ego to make them feel great, because they lack the sense of self to make themselves feel great as well. Although opposite and contrary to an empath who gives love and wants to receive love and who's very genuine with their love. A narcissist is not genuine with their love. They will give you love, but they will give you love in splatters. I want to say, and any love or goodness that you see from them or receive from them is only for their benefit. So they're only giving to receive back, into their own ego. They cannot have a healthy, genuine relationship because they lack feelings to connect emotionally. They're emotionally disconnected from other people. They cannot sit in a space for you, so they very well can be hurting you and feel no remorse because they lack those characteristics. They have several character flaws. A lot of narcissists are cheaters, they're liars. So they lack being able to be in a monogamous relationship. They lack being able to be honest. A narcissist person is very childish. They're like big kids, to be honest. They lack being able to accept any type of, what's the word I'm looking for? They cannot accept any wrong in this situation. So anytime you're trying to tell a narcissist person how they made you feel or how they're wrong in a situation, they will definitely turn the tables and deflect from that. The term is gaslighting. They will definitely gaslight you to deflect the situation off of them because they hate to hear any wrong. They want you to see them as perfect, these perfect people who do no wrong. And the minute that you don't see them in this certain light as perfect, then they're definitely going to try and hurt you. Emotionally, physically, mentally. They are dangerous people. So if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, if you've dealt with a narcissist, if you have a parent that's a narcissist, any kind of family member, the best thing to do with that person is to create a lot of distance. If it's a family member, and I understand you can't just completely ignore certain family members, maybe you have a child with one, so you can't just all the way cut them off. You have to have some kind of communication. My three things: no emotion, cut off all emotions when it comes to them, treat everything as if it's a business transaction. Do not allow them to allow you to step outside of character, so don't get into a sparring match with the narcissist. They love to argue because as long as they can pull you in, then they have control. So as long as you control your emotions, you hold the control. Remember that. Thus, the person who controls their emotions holds the control. So do not allow yourself, not even with the narcissist, with any person, to allow a person to get you outside of your character, because in that moment, that person has control over you. And my third thing for dealing with the narcissist is to create as much space between you and them as possible. Only communicate in dire situations that you just really need to. If you're in a relationship with one, try to get out. If you're already out, then you definitely need to no contact and don't ever go back into contact with them again. You want to stay away from them, especially if they are dealing with other people, if they dealt with other people in a relationship with you. You don't want somebody like that. You're worth more than enough. Somebody who is going to love you and love just you. And you just don't want to deal with a person like that. That's a person who, very dark, evil people, hurting on the inside, but lack the know-how to sit down and self-analyze, to really see that they are the problem and to take those key steps to fix themselves. So you tend to see a narcissist jump from relationship to relationship because they're always needing that validation from another person to feel that they're enough, that they're seen, that they're loved. Big flashy people like to be seen. They're entitled people, so if they're hurting you, they're entitled to that. If you're in a relationship with one and they're cheating, they're entitled to have you and have other people as well. That's just how they feel. There is no changing these people. So if you're thinking, oh, well, they just never felt love, so I'm going to love them and they're going to change. No, my sweetheart. That's not how this works. In trying to change them and love them and help them grow, you're only going to hurt yourself. Their only goal is to diminish you to nothing. Because the more that you're diminished, the greater that they feel and the greater that they are. So do not allow one of these people to dim your light or diminish you down to nothing, and to absorb your great energy that you have within you. So that is my spill on empaths and narcissists, and whether to know if you're an empath or you're a narcissist. And most narcissists are gonna, if they watch this, are gonna think, oh, I'm not a narcissist, because most narcissists are not going to admit that they're a narcissist. And if they do admit, then you definitely want to stay away from them. That's somebody you don't want to deal with. Okay. How to defend yourselves if you're an empath. So, the best thing to defend yourself is if you're an empath is create healthy boundaries with people. I'm a person who I lacked so much in my life with creating healthy boundaries, not just in relationships, but even with friendships. I wanted so much to be accepted and validated by people and to be liked that I would allow people who call themselves my friend or say that they love me to treat me in a way that I was distasteful on, that I didn't like or wouldn't accept or didn't want to accept, but lacked the self-worth in myself to stand up or speak for myself, so I took that treatment. Basically, a doormat, a stepping stone for other people. And I'm not ashamed of that, because it's grown me into where I am now on my spiritual journey, and it's grown me to be able to grow and heal and be able to speak out and to speak to other people, to hopefully touch someone or have someone else reflect and grow and heal from maybe something that they're going through, or realize that, hey, I'm an empath and I'm codependent and I've been feeling like people in my life have been using me for years, and I just never knew how to build up those walls or those boundaries with people, and still have healthy relationships. Now, one thing to remember, someone who really loves you, and genuinely has love for you, and genuinely is there for you and wants to be in your life and see you grow and see you prosper, and you create healthy boundaries with them, they're going to love you and accept you either way. They're not going to hold things over your head or make you feel as if you're causing them any kind of problem, or you're not being a genuine person in their life, as a friend, a spouse, a family member, whatever your role is that you might play with this person or these people. If it's excessive people in your life that you know have been taking advantage of you, and you need to cut off. Or at least put some distance between you and these people, because some people you may not need to cut off. Some people you just have to, for lack of better words, put in their place, and let it be known that you have boundaries, and these are the standards of you, and if they want to continue to have a relationship with you, and once those boundaries are laid to the table, you need to stand on them and you need to be firm. If anybody tries to make you feel like you're not a good person, or you're doing them wrong, or, oh, how you gonna do me like that? We've been friends for this and that long. Or I thought that you was riding for me. We've been in a relationship this and that long. I thought you was bae. Yeah, save it. Because somebody who really loves you, they're gonna understand that for you to be in a healthy place, you have to have boundaries with certain people, and they should want to see you in a healthy place. So if they are going against trying to see you in a healthy place and see you grow, then they're not for you, and you definitely should try and cut them off. So with all that being said, I just want to make that established before I go into setting healthy boundaries. Know that it's okay to set boundaries with people, and they shouldn't try to make you feel bad about it. So with that being said, you need to set healthy boundaries with people. You need to be able to tell people no. If you know that you're not comfortable with something, you do not have to go along with it to appease another person. That is a part of your own self-worth and your own self-assurance, and being firm in yourself, knowing your own boundaries with yourself. Do not allow yourself to be wavered for another person and to feel uncomfortable for another person. Know how to be a helping hand to a person, know how to love people, know how to be there for people, but also know how to be there for people and still make sure that you're okay and you're comfortable with the help that you're giving at the end of the day. Try to identify when someone is genuinely needing of your help, or when someone is trying to take advantage of you. And people, we all have intuition, and so many times our intuition will let us know not to do that or not to deal with that person, but we choose not to listen, and we get ourselves in situations that we could have so easily avoided if we have just chose to listen to our higher self and our intuition that told us not to deal with this person, not to date this person, not to get into this friendship or to let that friendship go, not to let that person borrow money, not to give this person a ride. Just the simplest of things can be avoided if we just take the time first to reflect and listen to our higher self and our intuition. So with building boundaries with people, it's first knowing yourself, knowing what you can and cannot accept, what you can and cannot give, knowing that it's okay to tell people no, knowing that you can still be a great person and have a good heart and not all the time be able to help people. Sometimes the best help you can give somebody is a prayer up to God, because He is the healer of all. He knows all. He sees all. He's there for each and every one of us. And where more than one stand in His name, miracles happen. So sometimes we want to help people because we understand this is our friend, this is our family member, this is our spouse. But sometimes you're not in that emotional state, or even in that space, or even in your energy able to help that person. And when you're being an empath, the first thing you have to know is how to protect your energy. If you feel fatigued or drained all the time, if you're the type of person you have stomach pains or headaches, or you feel sick and you don't really know why, you may be around somebody or people who are draining you of your energy and you're not even really aware of that. So it's very, very, very important that you protect your energy. Me personally, I will go ghost people, not to be malice or of any ill will, but I won't answer the phone. I won't text back. I'll turn my phone off. I won't get on social media because I have to unplug sometimes. I have to take that time to self-reflect. I meditate, so I have to take that time to meditate, to pray, to read my Bible, just to make sure that mentally and emotionally I'm together and I'm aligned, and I'm grounded in what's going on right now in my world and around me. Otherwise, we tend to lack focus, and that's how we get scattered. We have short term memory loss, and we can't be focused on one thing. We get into different situations that are negative because we lack a focus, because we don't take that time to unplug from the world that drains us each and every day, and to really refill ourselves back up and rejuvenate our batteries to keep going throughout life, because every day in life we'll be faced up against many challenges, and many people that will drain you, that will take away from your energy. And if you don't take that key time to recharge your battery, and which is really recharging your spirit, and building your spirit back up, and building your spiritual strength and your spiritual being, then you're easily susceptible to be a victim to narcissistic people, or those people who are looking to prey upon you and really deplete you of all your energy and just drain you down. So knowing how to build boundaries, knowing how to protect your energy are two top things. And I will say the last thing about being an empath and protecting yourself is basically just really loving yourself, knowing yourself, taking that time to be with self, and taking the time to understand that you are the type of person that has to really guard yourself and defend yourself each and every day with the many challenges that you'll face in life. And the more that you love yourself, the easier that it will be to be able to protect yourself from those people who only seek to use you and abuse you and to absorb your energy because they see your light. So most importantly, this should have been the number one topic. But most importantly, being an empathetic person, love yourself. Know yourself, and always, my kings and queens, know your worth. Know that you're worthy, and any treatment less than what you are willing to take for your standards and your boundaries and your morals is not okay. And you saying no to that and cutting those people off who can't respect that is very much okay. It's very much a part of your growth, and what you need to be the positive person and the positive spiritual being that you are. So lastly, knowing you're enough and trusting yourself. For me, this is very big because all my life I've had intuitive powers. I've had a prophetic ear. I have dreams that they're very vivid and I can see things that happen to me. Um, I tend not to listen to my intuition. All throughout my life, my intuition has told me not to do certain things, not to get entangled with certain people, not to go certain places. And because I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I was in the world and wanted to be tied up with things and people of this world, I went against it, and I definitely did reap the ramifications after that. But now I am 30 years old and just going through several traumatic experiences, having several spiritual awakenings, and just really stepping into my spiritual being and tapping